Go.
Yeah.
Who has been your favorite talent you have worked with?
I've enjoyed wrestling Shane Hagedorn, actually. He's one of my best friends in wrestling, and we always beat the crap out of each other, and that's why I like wrestling him. Pele Primo, I've enjoyed wrestling. Milo Shizo, I've enjoyed wrestling. I've enjoyed wrestling Monster Squad, actually, was a team I wrestled recently. Really enjoyed wrestling them. Latin Dragon has been someone I enjoyed wrestling. There's another really good wrestler, Silas Young, really good. I enjoyed wrestling him. There's a ton of guys that I can say I've enjoyed. But yeah, go ahead.
If you had any advice for someone who's pursuing a wrestling career, what would they be?
If you're going to break into professional wrestling, honestly, assess yourself. How much can you endure? Whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, or whatever. Because wrestling it's fun, don't get me wrong. You have your ups and downs. And the payoff for a lot of guys, you break in, there's thousands of guys that break into wrestling every day and think that they can get in and they're going to be a superstar. But there's a lot of guys that aren't in shape, they don't take it seriously enough, they just want to get into the ring and just play around. And it's not like that. There's a lot of physical training that takes place, and you have to take this seriously, because if you don't take this seriously, you don't take yourself seriously enough, you're not going to parlay into any success. So if you're going to get in shape, and everything's gradual. You don't expect things given to you ever. Hard work does pay off, and as long as you're willing to work that damn hard, you can get where you want.
What are the pros and cons of being a pro wrestler?
Pros and cons. Let's go with the cons first, because we'll save the pros later. Cons, being sore, honestly, a lot. I've been wrestling for 7 years. I've been wrestling for somewhere close to 5.5, 6 years at this rate. And I'm 24 years old, and at this rate, I'm feeling more beat up than I ever have. My back's sore, my knees are sore. I think that's the worst thing. I mean, sometimes the travel's rough, and if you're going from, say, Dayton, Ohio to Chicago, Illinois overnight with barely any sleep, not get into a hotel till like early in the morning to maybe sleep for a few hours, get to a building set up, or do what you gotta do. That's rough. As if you're wrestling for a major company, there's a lot of physical tiredness you go through. But the pros of it, like being able to wrestle in front of hundreds of thousands of people, being able to wrestle against guys that you either grew up watching or have an opportunity to just talk to and meet and bounce ideas off of them, being around, meeting people in the same industry as you're in that enjoy it as much as you do, and hopefully sharing a bond with them and becoming friends with them. Because a lot of people, a lot of things in wrestling, all things aside, some people, a lot of people you meet in the locker room and you just meet them. You see them once in a while. You don't really become friends with them. But for those that you do become friends with and you can share the same passion with, that's, I think, ultimately a bigger deal. You can win all the belts you want, you can make all the money you want. And wrestling isn't going to be, it's not the most lucrative business in the world unless you're wrestling for a top organization. If you can go out there and wrestle for a lot of independence and make decent money, by all means, if you can do it and you have the talents to pull that off and people are going to be behind you and do that, that's fantastic. But I think overall you got to assess that wrestling's a journey, and hopefully in that journey you can meet people and make the right friends in wrestling, and enjoy that too. And on top of enjoying your own work, if you feel like you've had a great match, I think that's the biggest payoff. You go out there and you wrestle in front of 200, 300, 400 people, or wrestle in front of 1,000 people or more. Doesn't matter if you feel like you had a fantastic match in front of them. I think that's the biggest payoff in the business, biggest excitement a wrestler can have.
Have you always portrayed a heel?
No. A lot of my career was being a babyface. I think the majority, when I got into wrestling, that's all I wanted to do was be a heel. I was told I had really good heel mannerisms, and a lot of mentality, but it really wasn't. I wasn't really given the ball to run with it in, say, Ring of Honor, and that is what it is. But when I went to other independents and I wrestled, like, that's one thing I wanted to do is I wanted to be that guy. I wanted to be a heel. I wanted to see if I had that intestinal fortitude, I guess, or that guttural reaction to get someone to hate me. You know, and I think that's kind of fun to see if you can play with people's minds. And it's hard to get someone to like you, but it's even better if you can find someone to hate you. You know, and if you can get that reaction out of a person that is they want to see you get your ass kicked, well, I find it's fun. I find it's fun to try to manipulate somebody like that, to see if you can ag them just enough to see if they want to punch you in the face. So as a heel, I'd rather be a heel in a lot of ways. I think it's a challenge to be babyface, but I think it's a challenge that if you're really good at it, you should accept that you're good at it. It's hard. It's a hard thing to do, but some people like it, some people don't. I'm not saying I hate it, and I don't think I was ever given the opportunity to be the right face for Alex Payne.
How long have you been a pro wrestling fan?
Since birth, honestly. So I have to go about 24 years. I remember watching wrestling with my father when I was like 3, and I know for a fact he put me in front of a television with wrestling prior to that. And I remember going to my first wrestling house show, WWE house show, in like 1990 at some point. I remember wrestling's always been a part of my life, and I don't think I haven't ever been disconnected from it in any way, shape, or form.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years. Well, I'm 24 now, 29 then. I don't know. There's part of me that thinks that I have a damn good shot at maybe getting to TNA, or despite what I said, or WWE. But it just depends on where I want to go. Maybe back in Ring of Honor at some point in time. Maybe helping out another independent become a bigger independent than what it already is. You know, who knows? Maybe RCW will be drawing 1,000 people and traveling all over the place and becoming bigger than what it is now. Maybe I'll be wrestling for CZW full time, and they'll be traveling all over the place, and I'll be doing that. Who knows? But I would like to see myself in like TNA or WWE making some decent money as a professional wrestler and enjoying that aspect and being able to provide for myself and hopefully my family at that point in time, or my girlfriend, or whatever I have at the time, as a pro wrestler, and not having to do 9 to 5. But then there's part of it, I think, if there is a breaking point, I know my body can only take so much. So if one day it comes down to I look myself in the mirror and go, hey, Alex, maybe it's time for more reality check, and maybe I gotta check myself out. But till then, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep fighting. I'm gonna keep wrestling. There's a lot of other things I'd like to do. I've thought about, at least doing MMA training. Maybe not fighting it so much. Maybe doing grappling tournaments, which is something I wouldn't mind doing, like for Naga or Grappler's Quest. I have an amateur wrestling background, so see how well I do, parlay into jiu-jitsu or something.
All right, this concludes the interview with Alex Payne. My name is Jason Neville. Stay tuned for upcoming videos.